Back in 2021, Kia introduced the Carnival, and I remember doing the first one that came off the truck on this lot right here. Now I'm back here at Gettle Kia of Bradenton, Florida, checking out this brand new 2024 Kia Carnival SX model, and I'm going to take in a complete tour of this vehicle to see why this is one of the most popular vehicles in the segment. We're going to check it out starting right front of this vehicle, then pop the hood, see what powers up this thing, walk around it, spend some time on the interior. At the end of this video, you're going to go for a spin together with me. Now, if this is the first time we meet, my name is Matt, and here on Matt the Carguy, I post 2 car reviews every single week. If that's something that interests you, don't forget to hit that little red subscribe button at the bottom of this video. And now let's get back to this. So why is Carnival so popular? Well, I think it's partially due to the design. It definitely stands out from the crowd. It's different than the regular minivan. About 10-15 years ago, pretty much all the minivans looked very much the same, and you really had to look at the logo to see what you're looking at. This is not the case with the Carnival. And by the way, Kia does not even call it a minivan. They call it an MPV, which is a multi-purpose vehicle. So it's kind of a crossover between the SUV and the minivan, and I like it. Well, let's start right here. The hood, nice and flat. It's got 2 distinct grooves on each side. You have the Kia script logo right on top of here. And check out these lights. Now, this is something that's completely different out of the box. You have your high beams right here, headlights right here, and the turn signals inside of this trim. And that's also contains the daytime running lights, kind of zigzagging right here. Now, what's interesting, the headlights, the high beam, of course, this is all LED, but the turn signals are still incandescent. But when you scroll down here, don't forget about the set of fog lights right here, all LED fog lights, and nicely incorporated in here, you have those actual functional air curtains. Now, this trim piece that goes alongside or at the bottom of these fog lights, as well as right there at the front fascia of this bumper, you see this satin chrome trim piece. Now, this is not very shiny, nicely subdued. I like it. And of course, you have this so typical to Kia, the tiger nose grille. But what's really interesting about it, other than the color, which is this black satin chrome, I like it, but also that it's kind of indented, creating this very sleek profile of this vehicle. And now let's pop the hood and let's see what powers up this thing. Powering up this 2024 Carnival is a 3.5-liter V6 naturally aspirated engine, 290 horsepower, 262 foot-pounds of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Pretty powerful. It sits low in this engine bay right here, creating this lower center of gravity and for better dynamics in here. You have this ugly prop stick on the side here. I think that should be replaced with the hood struts, but you have a nice sound insulation over here. And I haven't driven this vehicle in a while, so it'd be exciting to take it for a spin at the end of this video. From the design standpoint, this is not your typical minivan. It looks definitely like a combination of an SUV and a minivan. Starting off with this hood right here, so you can see how nice and flat this is. It's not sloping down too much. I also like that this is all the same colors. The rest of the car, some of the manufacturers are going crazy with the claddings around the wheels. And SX trim comes standard with a 19-inch gloss black wheels. Now I like them. They're dressed in this all-season tires. 235 by 55 is the size of the tires. I actually like how they blacked out the pillars right here, creating this very different design. You also have this piano black bottom of the mirror. The top of the mirror is covered in the same color as the rest of the vehicle. And by the way, if you like it, this is, I think, $295 option. They call it Snow White Pearl. Looks really nice. Got a lot of sparkle inside of it. Inside the mirror, you also have the turn signals as well as the camera right here and the blind spot assist. It's all about safety. It's a family vehicle, right? So of course you have the smart entry system on this vehicle. As long as you have the key somewhere on, you can lock or unlock this vehicle by simply pressing the button on the door. Now of course the sliders, we're going to open it up in just a bit, and right on top, if you need more space for cargo, you have the roof rails, and this so cool of this polished aluminum trim piece with this diamond shaped design, 3D looking inside of that. That's very cool looking. Now let's see how much room we have for passengers inside of this minivan. Look how cool this interior is. Let me show it to you. You know what I like about it is how easy it is to access this vehicle. Even though this one sits a little bit higher than the regular minivans, got 6 inches ground clearance, but you can just slide into these very comfortable seats. Now the seats also slide back and forth, so you have some room there, but check this out. Check out how much room I have. I can recline to, and this is without this executive seating, but I can really be comfortable in the long distance trip. Now, of course, I have plenty of headroom. I have plenty of shoulder room, plenty of knee room, so no complaints there. Definitely room for 8. And this particular one on the interior looks absolutely amazing. Let me show it to you. All right, I got the air conditioning going, but before we jump in, let's see what's going on here. Very bold, very unique as far as the color. They call it Tuscan Umber or Tuscan Umber. I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but let's check this out. So this is a kind of a brownish orange color, and both of the outboard seats are a little bit different than the middle seat. Now they have some solid leather on the sides, perforated in the middle. They also have the child safety latches on both of the outboard and in the middle seat as well. So if you have 3 child seats in here, you can put them back. Well, you see, there's not enough room for the 3rd child seat. Well, guess what? You can move this seat all the way back, and it's going to create more room on the sides and stop kids from fighting and hitting each other. Also, if you have it in this position right here, you can also fold it down as such, boom, and create this middle console. Pretty cool concept, right? I also like how they're two-tone. They're black on the sides and this Tuscan Umber or Tuscan Umber, or I said that the same thing, right? The same thing on the side of the doors right here. So of course you have your door handle, you have your window switch, a bit of storage right here, a cup holder, an extra one. You have more here, I promise you that. You have this manual sunshade. All right, so you can open it up and prevent people from peeking inside. And also the windows do go down almost all the way down. So let's close this up. I'll show you another safety feature of this vehicle. One of the ways to, of course, close the door is to push the button on it. And in case your little ones are not quite in, here's what happens. It's going to touch it and it's going to retract, so it's not going to squish anybody in there. So now I'm sitting in this second row seat. Let's see what else we have going on in here. So of course the cup holders right in this middle console. You have your regular household outlet here. This is for 115 volts and 100 watts, and 12-volt outlet right here. This is your regular charging. You also have your regular USB type A ports and the backs of the seat back pockets, little hooks on top of here. And if you're wondering where you control your temperature, the temperature control is right over here. So set it on auto and forget it if you'd like to. You have vents individual vents for both the outward passengers, and you know, the middle one gets the air from the front, I guess. But this is really nice. Also, what you have here, this is unique, right? So this is your camera. I'll show you that while I'm in the front, so pay attention to it. I believe those are the speakers, or those are the microphones, actually, kind of to pick up of what's going on in the back. Now this is your third row seat. Let me jump in. I'll show you how much room we have. So how easy is it to get to the third row seat? Well, basically like this. You pull on this lever, it opens up, and it creates all of this room so I can jump inside. Well, once you get in the third row seat, it's actually not bad at all. I have this seat pretty much pushed all the way back, and I'm not squished, which means my knees are close, but they're not touching the back of the seat. Now, this is not the most comfortable seating position out there, but I can definitely see myself getting used to it. Maybe not for like a long cross-country trip, but maybe a couple hours would be good enough. And if you're kids, there's plenty of room in here. Plus, you have your own vents right here. You have your own cup holders, you have your own USB charging, you have your own speakers, and you have your own little sunshades right back here. Now there's room for three. Now I definitely wouldn't want to be one of the three traveling inside of this third row seat, but for kids there's plenty of room. So three here, and two there, making it an 8-seater configuration. Here we are in the back of this Carnival. You can see this nice gate spoiler, third brake light right here. Now the wiper is nicely tucked in underneath here, which is super cool. You also have the shark fin antenna on top. And you can see this huge light right here. Now Kia logo is right here. You do have the backup camera right here. This is all LED as far as this top unit right here. What's not LED is the turn signals and the reverse lights. You also have the reflector lights at the bottom of this bumper. And then right here you have this satin chrome trim that we've seen in the front. Now Carnival on one side, there is no badging as far as which model it is, which I think it would be pretty cool. You used to be able to recognize them right away. Now we can access the gate several different ways. Well, let's take a look how much room we have inside. See the roominess inside of this vehicle, and I gotta tell you, you see the horror movies like this? You have plenty of room to comfortably fit a 9th passenger, maybe even 10th if they're small, right here in this cargo compartment. Of course, then you'd have to put up the rooftop box to put all your cargo in here, but it's actually not bad at all. There you also have your own charger in here, power outlet. Well, let me show you what else you have. Well, the gate can be closed by the remote or by using any of those buttons right here. You can also turn that automatic gate closing off for some reason if you wanted to. And then you have some nooks and crannies to put more stuff like minivans should have, right? So there's something underneath here. There's a little pull. Let me pull on that and let's see what there is. Oh, look, there's like a secret compartment underneath here. Not sure what I would use it for, but if you need it, it's there. And by the way, see, I was talking about the charger. You have the 12-volt charger. You have this regular household outlet. You're all set. And if you're looking for the jack to remove the wheels in case you need one, this is it right here. Push it back in, and then both of these seats fold down. I have camera in one hand. See if I can do it. Well, let's see. Let me lower the headrest first. Boom. Make sure they're nice and low. I don't think you can lower it with the headrest. Maybe you can. All right, come on, go down. All right, so while you do, I mean, there's all these instructions right here, but basically the simple thing is pull on this handle towards you. Boom. Both seats. Right? And kind of squish them down, and that's what you have. Now, as you can see, you have 3 pull thingies right here, okay? One to pull it to move it back, pull it to basically slide it forward, pull it to fold it, or you can remove those seats as well. So the possibilities are endless, or maybe not endless, but there is a few. Now, this is the sunshade that I was telling you about in the third row seat, so this is nice, and this is your third seat belt, and if you're not using it, well, probably just tuck it away as such. So this is the interior, this is your cargo space. Definitely definitely tons. You can't have it in the SUVs unless you go for the behemoth, like the big Cadillac Escalator. You can Denali's the extended ones, but not in the regular SUV, not at this price range either. Well, of course, let's check out the sound of the closing door. Boom. That's pretty good, nice and solid. Open it back up. Let's see what's going on in here. So we have some piano black. Not a huge fan, to be honest with you. You have your 2 memory seat settings. You have the window mirror lock controls, speaker, and a little bit more storage down inside of this door panel. And then the seats, of course, they're power seats. Now, one thing I didn't show you, that if you're sitting in the back seat and you want to control the front seat, all you have to do is push the button right here. That goes also for the driver. If you don't want to go outside and open the other door and move it around, you can do it straight from here, which is a very smart option in my opinion. Now on the left hand side of the steering wheel, let's see what we have. You can open both of the doors in the gate. You can also turn off the power doors off. So if the kids are back in there, you don't want them to play around with it, just close them up. And then you have your dimmer, you have your lane keep assist, and the traction control. The steering wheel, tilt and telescoping, manual tilt and telescoping. And let me jump inside, I'll show you the rest of it. Yeah, here's the interior of this 2024 Carnival SX, and I gotta tell you, it looks pretty darn good. And I apologize if there's a little hum in there. The AC is going full time, as it is 90 degrees and about 1,000,000% of humidity out there. So let's check and see what we have here on this interior. I like how it's dressed up. Now this is all look like it's wrapped in leather. Of course it's not, but this is the type of material. So see what you can do to make it look better. Those big vents incorporated in this trim piece, and right there at the bottom you can see this nice simulated wood trim, and of course you have your glove box down there. Now you have 2 screens, 2 fully digital 12.3-inch screens. We'll go through some of the features on in just a minute. The steering wheel, I like it. I like how it feels in your hand. It's fairly large, like it should be, and you have a bunch of buttons on both sides. Now these mode and the star button, they're customizable. You also have the voice control and phone button. You have the volume and mute, as well as you have some adjustments that you can do going up and down and select. Now on the other side you have the menu button, cruise control button, adaptive cruise control, and then you have the lane keep assist, and as well as up and down and OK, and that's to go through something that's going on in the instrument cluster. Now the instrument cluster, in the typical Kia fashion, if you have the SX trim or above, I believe, you have this feature right here. Pretty cool, right? So that shows you of what's going on either side. Once you initiate the turn signal, that little camera turns on, displays what's going on. So blind spot assist, digital blind spot assist. You also have the speedometer on the left hand side, tachometer on the right hand side. Customize the middle of it you can, and also you have the drive mode. So right now we have the Eco Sport. Look, it gives you that little bit more sporty look and smart. It lets you car control and then go back to normal. So I'm gonna actually do it in smart mode today. This is not a sports vehicle. We don't need to really test out like the super acceleration on this or anything. And then let's see what's going on in the middle here. So you have your drive info, you have your compass, tire pressure, or you can also check these, like this is your attention level. Right now it says high because, you know, I'm moving constantly, but if you're stopped moving in front of that little detection device, you're going to be like, hey, take a coffee break, you're sleeping. And then here's your drive info, you know, several different options where you can set up your speedometer right in the middle there. 14 miles on the vehicle, 90 degrees outside, and then right now we look at 3 miles per gallon. Well, the vehicle has got 14 miles, been sitting and idling probably for most of it. Now the real gas mileage, 19 in the city, 26 on the highway, for 22 is the combined number, so this is not bad at all. Typical Kia infotainment system. We've seen it a million times. If you want to see one of my other videos going in detail, but I'm just going to go really quickly and see what's going on. So you have your map, navigation, phone projection, which is important to mention that still in 2024 we don't have wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto on the big screen. You can also get it in the smaller screen, which is kind of silly. Voice memo lets you record a short message instead of looking for a pen and paper. This is pretty cool. Passenger view, right? There's this little camera I showed you, in the back, and it shows you of what's going on. So you can see your second and third row passengers, make sure they're behaving, and if they're not, then hit this button right there that says talk now, and it's going to project your voice through the speakers, or if they were wearing headphones that are connected to the vehicle, it would let them know that, hey, mom or dad want to talk to you. So this is something that's pretty cool, especially as far as the minivans, because you have such a distance between the front seat and back. If you don't want to see them but you just want to talk to them, there's a passenger talk. You also have the quiet mode. If they're sleeping, hit that on. It's gonna basically turn off the rear speakers and limit the front speaker output to a certain level so they don't get disturbed. Rear climate control, again, this is for the minivan, big SUVs, really nice and important. You can set up basically the temperature, the fan speed. You can also lock it so passengers in the back don't have the ability to change anything. HD radio data, and then we're going to see this is traffic, Doppler radar, fuel prices. Now it's been a while since I've seen it. Let's see if we're getting some rain today. Probably so, but maybe not just like right now. Here's traffic, fuel prices. This is another interesting option. Here we are. So we have the 330 regular, that's the cheapest one, that's 4.4 miles away. This is always good to know, and this is updated constantly. Now go back to the main screen. Here's your radio, and basically as far as your options, so you have the Sirius XM, FM, and AM radio. I'm going to turn that off right now. Well, I don't want to turn the whole thing off, but just the radio. But then you have your different media as far as your Bluetooth or maybe USB stick or Sounds of Nature, which is part of Kia and Hyundai family for a while. You know, you have several different options that can either soothe you, energize you, experience the universe. Rainy day, don't do that if you want to go to the bathroom, because that is definitely going to help. Moment of motivation right here, and meditation, I'm sorry. Nice cool sound in here. Now this is non-branded stereo, I believe on the SX Prestige you get that fancy Harman Kardon stereo, and this is pretty much it. The other thing is the setup, and then you can change different settings for basically any of these things. Now the button, this is an important one because not all the vehicles have it, but Kia and Hyundai's have it for years. So you have several different custom buttons that you can select different features to control with. So for example, the custom button on the navigation, which is basically right here, that can control either the passenger view, display on and off, HD radio, data, Wi-Fi hotspot, and so on. On the steering wheel, a little bit different options as far as that. Mode button, same thing, and the different buttons on the steering wheel. So data network, well, here's a Kia hotspot, but you have to access it and you have to purchase the subscription for it. So of course you have the Kia Connect. That includes the roadside assist, calendar, weather, vehicle diagnostic, maintenance, virtual assistant, Kia Connect, call center, Kia settings, and if you have a phone, I believe you can turn this into the digital key on this one as well, and basically use it as your remote. So this is your infotainment system. Okay, nice and cool. Down below you have some buttons over here. These are your shortcuts for map, navi, radio, media, seek, track, and setup. As well, you have the volume button, tune, and enter on the other side. And down here you have your climate control settings, self-explanatory pretty much. Down below you have the USB Type A, 1, 2, 3 of them, and you do have this wireless charging. Put my phone in here, and a little bit more storage. There's no cover on here, so this is exposed. Big cup holders, and down below you have the heated ventilated seats, as well as you have your parking sensors and parking camera, which we're going to check out next. And as far as the shifter, fairly regular looking shifter, and you can put it in the sport mode if you'd like to, controlling the gears by yourself. Put it in reverse. I'm going to check out the rear view camera, but before we do that, let's check it out. The drive modes are changed over here. Here's your electronic parking brake and the auto hold for the brakes. And then moving up here to the camera settings, because you can see we have the 360. So right now this is the back. This is the back from the top. Here's another from the sides over here, and we have this meditation playing in the background. How cool is that? I have to turn that off. So, but these are your camera settings basically, and I like that it has the trajectory lines. They're active both in the back and from the top, so this is pretty cool. That allows you to see whether you're going to hit something or not. And this is a fairly large vehicle. Now it does have a very nice visibility in here, big windshield, and you know, when you put it in reverse, here's what happens. So right now I got it out of the reverse. When I put it in reverse, see, the mirrors kind of tilt down so you can see what's behind you and better assist you in reversing. So this is the interior of this Carnival. No sunroof on this one. And the SX Prestige, you get the panoramic sunroof. The only thing up on top, you have the light controls, and then we have the illuminated mirror. Now the illumination is separate right here, but this is your mirror. Now let's take this vehicle on the road and see how it drives. And of course, before we take it for a spin, let's take a look and see which trim levels are available. So the Carnival starts with the LX trim at 33.2, LX with the seat package 35.2, EX at 38.7, SX, which what I have for you today, 41.9, and then SX Prestige 46.3. Now a couple things that you'll get extra with the SX Prestige, you'll get the real leather with versus the Syntax materials on here. You also have the ability to have this VIP lounge seats in the back, which is the coolest thing ever, but I have not been able to get it on my channel. They sell before they even get to the dealership. Panoramic sunroof, Bose stereo, a couple other features that I'm not sure what they are, but go to Kia's website and check it out and see what they are. But definitely this vehicle, total MSRP with the few extra options. So snow white pearl paint, $495, carpeted floor mats, $225, cargo net, $55, tray at $115, auto dimming mirror with Homelink at $350, with destination $44,505, makes it a very attractive option for a lot of minivan shoppers. And there's not many around. There's literally 4 different minivans that you can choose from, and that is Honda Odyssey, Toyota Sienna, Chrysler Pacifica, and this. Now with the Toyota Sienna, they're only available with the 4-cylinder hybrid. Honda Odyssey is only available with the gasoline engine, the 6-cylinder, and then the Chrysler Pacifica either with the Pentastar or with a plug-in hybrid option. So they are options, but not as many as it used to be about 10-15 years ago, where we had some GM models, Nissan, etc. They had other minivans that are available. They're not as popular. They gave way to the SUVs, but I think that definitely having a minivan and taking it on the road trip really makes a huge difference as far as the cargo roominess, passenger comfort of drive, and all that stuff. Speaking of comfort of drive, let's see how tight it turns. I have this empty parking lot right here. So I'm going to turn this steering wheel all the way to the left, and we're going to see how many parking spots it takes to fully turn this around. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just about a quarter. 4 and about a quarter. There you go, and we got back to here, about 4 1/4 parking spots, which is not bad at all for the vehicle this size. By the way, it's about 203 inches long with a wheelbase of about 121. So this is a nice and comfortable. And if you look at the suspension, I like it. Check this out. We're in the smart mode, but it really doesn't matter because it doesn't have the adaptive suspension that can adjust it as far as the firmness. But you know, it is definitely nice. It doesn't have a lot of body roll, and we're going to try that off the line acceleration, which even though, like I said, it's not super important on the minivan, but it's important when you're merging in traffic or when somebody comes up with some of this sporty, you know, vehicle right next to you, and you just can't, you know, contain the urge to race them. Now we'll make sure we put it in the sport mode for this demonstration, and let's hit it. Yeah, it gets off the line. It's a minivan. What do you expect? Although there used to be one minivan, who can tell me what was the performance minivan and who made it? Answer is coming up right now? Well, that was, of course, Mercedes, the R63, I believe that's what it was, and that was the minivan with about 500 horsepower. I don't know why they even made it. Super cool, though, for all the car enthusiasts. Now, the people that own them, they either loved it or hated it because they used to break down constantly. Now, guys, back to this Kia Carnival. We're going to take it on the road here with this little of a half-throttle acceleration, kind of merging in traffic. You could probably hear that little of the wheels spin. Well, you know, squeaky wheel is the happy wheel, like they say, right? There's a little bit of squeak from the tire, not too bad. Overall nice and comfortable. You know, one thing that I didn't really care for a lot of the minivans is when you look in the mirror, it feels like a tunnel in the back because it's so long and narrow. Now, this one doesn't give me that impression, and because it sits up a little bit higher than just a standard regular minivan, it feels almost like an SUV. Now, this is a front-wheel drive option. There's no other options available as far as the powertrain on the Carnival. If you want an all-wheel drive, I think Toyota Sienna is the only one that can actually get you one with all-wheel drive. But again, not too many options left. Price-wise, this one is definitely competitive. Even at 46 grand, if you splurge for the SX Prestige, it's not bad at all. It feels good. It drives really, really well. And, you know, I like these features. I like some of the safety features that you can have with this vehicle, including that blind spot assist. Overall, it kind of flows on the road, but it doesn't give you that feeling that it's like overly soft. It's kind of a nice balance in between. The steering wheel has some weight to it, although it is rather on the lighter side. And the message to all the carpooling people, 0 on the speedometer. Let's go. And we got 40. We have 50, yes, and finally we get it up to 60 miles per hour. This is a nice and smooth acceleration. Definitely will help you merge in traffic, get up to speed, and once you're up to speed, you can put your meditation music and fall asleep, because this vehicle has so many safety options and can do, you know, some of this stuff for you. But no, seriously, don't. I mean, it's not a fully autonomous drive, definitely. I mean, it does have the adaptive cruise control, but you can follow the people. I don't think this one has the lane changing ability. You might have to step up to the SX Prestige, but this is really very cool vehicle, very cool minivan. If you're planning your summer road trip, this one is for sale currently, and believe me, this is not a very common vehicle to find, especially in the higher trim levels. You can always find some of the LXs, maybe EXs, but very few of the SXs are ever sitting on the lot. This one's available right now. Beautiful white pearl color with this Tucson, I don't even know how to pronounce it, with this brownish, reddish interior. Pretty cool. Call the guys at Kia of Bradenton, make a deal with them if you're interested in it. As the time of this filming, and this video is probably going to be about a week out after I finish with here, so hopefully they still have it. Give them a call. If not, maybe you can order one. Guys, thank you very much for watching. This is a really cool minivan and definitely gives you thumbs up. If you like watching videos like this, don't forget to hit that little red subscribe button at the bottom of this video so you won't miss any content. Also, press that little bell notification button, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers!